go?
I think we're recording now. Yeah, we're good.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris. I'm a community manager for dotBigBang. And Ashley, if you want to say hello.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a community engineer for dotBigBang.
So today we're going to chat to you about a really exciting project that will be exceptionally relevant to everybody in here. So okay, I say everyone in here. My assumption is that everybody here is from the TypeScript courses and is interested in TypeScript. So let me just paste this in chat right now. If you click on that link, you will go to dotbigbang.com. So for those of you who might be watching this later, I am going to screen share so then people can see. I've got my notes on there. So if I'm looking over there, you'll know why. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at dotBigBang. We're going to have a look at all the cool features. And we're going to demonstrate why dotBigBang is an excellent playground for you TypeScript people, TypeScript learners, to make games. It's a great platform for that. So first of all, Ashley, could you post the link to the login and sign up for me? So on dotBigBang, you can see we've got all sorts of games on the front page, and we've got lots of feature content. We've got all sorts of awesome games and objects that people have made. You can just click on any of these and just jump straight in. You don't need an account or anything. If you click on login and you actually, I'll click the right one. Thank you. If you sign up for an account, then what you'll be able to do is make stuff, and it will all be saved in your avatar, in your profile on the top right. So here is everything that I've ever made. Here is all the objects. So like I can type in WAC, which I always tag my objects for weekly art challenge. So this is just objects that I've made using the voxel object editor in the browser. And then the games that I've made, they're all like little prototypes and messing about and stuff like that. So I'm going to customize my avatar. This is actually incredibly bad because I have a custom avatar. So like you can change your face, but I've just realized my custom avatar gets overridden by the default character. So if we pretend that I'm not a wizard, none of this blue wizard stuff exists. I can like change my avatar parts, and I can be a clown with some stuff. This looks really bad. Apologies. And then you can like save it and like add accessories and those kinds of things. Right. So that's part of the user experience. What I'm going to do now, for anybody who signed up, what we're going to do is we're going to join the hub. Right. So an incredible thing about dotBigBang is we're completely web-based. All of our tools and all of our games are on your browser. So I'm going to send you this link. And what you're able to do is you're able to just join me. No download, no nonsense. And we'll see if we can get a few people together. Anything you'd like to add? Anything I've forgotten, Ashley?
You can join if you don't have an account as well. You just won't have.
Interesting. Okay, we're in. Cool. So all of this. Oh, frames. Hello. It's you. It's Ashley. So everything in dotBigBang can easily be there. So Ashley doing emotes, me doing emotes, me jumping. Anything related to the character is automatically networked. Yes, that's right, Betty. Press escape if you want to get your mouse. Hello, people. Hello. So this is our hub world, which Don't tell anybody, but we're doing a new one. It's amazing. Like, have you seen it yet? Actually, I'm
It's
excited.
really cool.
I can't wait. Yay! I can see Wacko from the chat, or Waco. Hello. So you can press any of the 1 to 9, and you can do little emotes. So just have a wander around. So we've got like lots of games that you can play in here in the Coliseum. Things like Pocket Garden. Ashley, are you noticing what I'm noticing?
What? You have the top fisher thing. I noticed that.
No, the walking.
Oh, I didn't notice.
So yeah, well, Ashley and I are just gonna chill, fishing for it a little bit.
Oh, that is really strange.
What is going on there? Oh my god. So yeah, we've got like you can fish, and then you can sell your pets, and then you can sell your pets, sell your fish, grab some pets, and they can follow you around. And we've got like quests, and this is just a hub world where we all kind of congregate when we want to try something new. I think it's because I'm screen sharing, to be honest. When are we building our own RuneScape, Chris? I've actually done that. I've actually been prototyping like a skills game. So, Ashley, could you do me a favor and post a link to Chase Heroes?
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's definitely just a few lines of code. We'll get into coding and stuff later. Ashley has now posted a link to Chase Heroes if people want to come join us. So this game is super easy. Hey Jamie, welcome. This game is super easy to understand. It's an obstacle course. This was actually showcased in GDC fairly recently. Whoa, that is lag. Give me 1 second. There we go. Oof. That's Ashley. Hello. So you can actually see on my my screen share stopped. There we go. So we can see that all the shadows have been disabled on my game because my laptop's struggling a little bit with all the windows open and the screen share. It's automatically being more performant.
I can screen share on my computer too. I'm working on a big monstrous gaming computer.
If you want to do that, that is totally up to you. Yeah, that's right, Nedialco. So, oh, I guess I'm going over. So yeah, all of the games that you see on dotBigBang on the front page, in the hub, have been made using the in-engine tools. So we have scripting, we have our voxel object editor, we have our game editor, and all of those are free. Oh no! Oh, I've been squished. No, it's a disaster. And I realise I'm concentrating more on the game than I am talking to everybody. So, like, you'll notice that everybody's just running around, doing their own thing, playing the game, and it's all networked. This is by default. So it makes making multiplayer games super easy. As you saw with me with Ashley just sending a link, sharing the games that you make and getting testers in and that sort of thing, super easy to do. It's rudimentary at this point, and you don't have to do anything. That's like one of the things that drew me to this, because I was actually just a user a couple of years ago, and I got really excited about the project. Started learning how to script and making stuff, and it's super cool. And now we're here with you guys. You should be able to click your character. I just read the comment, actually. So yeah. Oh no. How's everybody else doing? Oh, I can see you behind me, Ashley. Hello.
I've only played this game a few times.
I know, right? It's incredible. Don't forget, if you have any questions at all for us throughout this, feel free to post them in chat, and we'll get round to it. We'll sure we answer your questions. So we have a whole bunch of creators on the platform. Some make voxel objects, some script, some make whole games. All of that's just available for you. Oh, I forgot to mention that also, if you can access Chromium on your device, so be it a tablet or phone or whatever. Oh, I made it! Yeah. Sorry. dotBigBang runs in any Chromium browser. It also runs in Safari and all sorts of other things as well. But it works best on Chrome. And there's a couple of reasons for that, such as the console, the dev tools. Right, so that's it for a quick demonstration in terms of the platform. Sorry, in terms of player's perspective. What I'm going to quickly do, I've just looked at the time, I'm a little behind, but so we'll try and catch up. What I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to make a voxel object. If we are in our profile, we've got create new voxel object, or we've got a hamburger menu in the top right. Let's create an object, and then it will give us some start stuff that we can choose from. So I'm just going to pick a blank one. So we have our little color picker, and then I can just left click because I'm adding a voxel, or I can get rid of them. Now, what I'm going to do is use some super simple shapes, and I'm going to make like a little platform. And then what Ashley's going to do, she's going to do some cool stuff with that.
Chris, I don't know if you mentioned this. Is this a collaborative sandbox? Could both of you be working on the same project?
That is exactly what we will be doing later. So the way the engine's built means that in a few minutes, everybody will be we'll send a link out and everybody will be building together. There's no build time. If you change a variable, the effect of it is instant. It's like Google Docs.
And do you have permissions where people can see but not edit?
Yes. So if I come up here, let's just do a random platform Codecademy. Capital C, please, friend. Right. So we can see published, usable by others, and remixable. Published means that anybody can see it. Usable by others means that people can use it in their projects, and remixable means that somebody can make a own copy, and edit it freely. And the same is true for games as well. I don't know. Bear with me 1 second. I had a plan in mind. That's not it. Oh. Do you know what? This will do. So I'm just going to use the fill tool. Come down here, add a few voxels, and I'm just going to do something that doesn't look terrible, hopefully. I'm going to... Oh my goodness, this is terrible. It's fine. This is like a speed build, and I'm not an artist as such. So this is totally fine. What is this, actually? I don't know what this is.
I think
Right.
it's awesome. I don't know
So
what it is either, but
Looks like
it's
a
great.
cookie.
I think I'm rushing too much rather than enjoying the process.
Are
So
you trying to make a coin?
I'm attempting to make a platform that Ashley can then use. Will a coin work for you as well, Ashley?
Yeah, a coin would work. We can make a coin pickup.
All right. So, so I'm just. That's it. We're done. We're done. We made a coin. It's got a C on it.
It's the Chris coin.
So I'm just going to rotate the front this way and make sure the origin's fine. Right, I've saved it. That's it done. So there are tons of tools in the voxel object editor. We've made a coin. It's a bit rubbish, but that's totally fine because we can change that later on. So, Ashley, would you like to do something cool with this coin that I've made?
Sure. First, would you mind stopping? Okay, you stopped sharing your screen, so I'm gonna take over. Before I do anything, I'm just gonna do a grand tour of making a game, so that people know how to start that process, etc. So sharing my screen, dotBigBang. There we go. So you've seen it before. Here it is, dotbigbang.com. So you can just go. So that was create objects. That was making voxel objects. That's where you'd make all your art for your games. And then if you click build games, you're going to get this screen that gives you a bunch of examples to start from. So there's an empty game. We have like some templates for starter games if you want to have something already there to work with. So we've got like an obby, an FPS. This intro to Magic just kind of shows you the basics of scripting, like how to move something, how to make a door open, how to send events. Then this other scripting examples shows like a lot more advanced stuff. And then some environment design examples. So you can pick whatever you want as a starter. I usually go for the empty game. And then you're in here and you're ready to start editing. But I'm actually gonna edit a game that is that we can all edit together in a little bit that I prepared for this. So let me reload this. So I'm just going to give a tour of what our game editor looks like. If you've used any other game engines, some of the stuff might be familiar, but you don't need to have any experience with making games to jump in. So you're just going to click edit.
Hey, Ashley, you're
Yep.
no longer screen sharing.
Oh no, wrong tab. There we go. I closed the other one. Here we go. We're in a game. I press the edit button. And there we are. So you're going to see a couple things on the screen. I'm going to just start with one part at a time. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see resources that you can drag into your game. So first we have all the resources, the voxel objects that are being used in this game. So we have all these arms and butterflies and stuff. So if I wanted to add something else, I can just drag it in from the bottom. You can also look at all voxel objects that have been made by other creators that have been made public. So I can look through, these are kind of like some of our featured objects. You can look through these and drag them in. This is like a crazy dragon that someone, that Verelia made, which is a really cool detailed voxel object. So you can look through ones that other people have made. You can filter by your own objects. Here's a cat on a pogo stick that I made about a week ago. So that's pretty cool. um, and then you can search by term. So Chris, what was your coin called that you just made?
It is called. Oh, it's currently saving. Oh, it's called. In fact, just type in Codecademy. It's Codecademy coin.
Code Academy coin. There we go. So I actually can just drag in this coin that Chris made like moments ago, and now it's in my game. So it's really great for like when you're working with an artist on a game. As they're making art, you'll have it available immediately as soon as they save it. And then in terms of extensive knowledge of TypeScript, I mean, I had never used TypeScript when I first started using dotBigBang. I kind of
Me
learned
too.
it as I went. So I definitely wouldn't say you need extensive knowledge of TypeScript. There's so much example code, which you'll see in a bit, and so much to look at and learn from, that I think you can definitely start with not very much knowledge of TypeScript and still be able to get the hang of it. It's more about like game development principles than language specific TypeScript stuff. But yeah, so that's dragging in voxel objects, which you can do from this panel, but there's other tabs. You can also drag in scripts from the bottom. So we have some featured scripts that you can just drag on to your object. So I'm going to drag this scale script, and now my cat is scaling. We've got, which one do I like? I'll do, actually, I'm going to take the scale script off of this and scale this down. Oh, I didn't even show off the transform tools. So once you put an object into your game, we've got just some transform gizmos. You can move it around in space, scale it, have it stick to a surface of something. There's also just a move tool, rotate tool, a scale tool, things that you would expect from a game engine. And I can add like this pet script to this cat, and now this cat is gonna follow around the player. You can also search. These are just the featured scripts we have, ones that we think people will want to use a lot in their game, but you can search any scripts. I can filter by my own scripts. None of these are going to be very helpful. They're all pretty specific, but I can filter by the scripts that I've written, and then just every script that anyone's written, kind of search by a keyword and find something. And so that's what you can do in the scripts panel. And then there's also one more panel, which is templates. Templates
This is my
are...
favorite. Sorry, my favorite one out of all the tabs.
Yeah, so this one is really exciting. It's just entities, which is what we call like the objects in the game are called entities in dotBigBang. And these are just entities that already have different components attached to them and different behaviors attached to them. So I can drag in this toxic barrel template, and now if I go near the barrel, it's going to do damage to me within its radius. You can see the collider on the barrel when you click on it. It's a big radius where it can do damage. There's all sorts of stuff in here. There's so many fun templates. There's a boombox, there's a swimming pool, which I think actually just got added. Does this work? I didn't even know we had this.
Let's find out.
I guess there's a swimming pool. I only have 1 heart of health. Ooh, okay, there we go. And now I'm swimming in a pool. So you can just drag this into your game. Like, I haven't even opened the code. I haven't even like looked at the entity panel, and I've already got a swimming pool with a bouncy diving board. So that's pretty cool. If I die while editing it, there we go. I blew up and I respawned in the pool. It's not a bad place to respawn. If I died, I would not mind respawning in a pool. So there's all sorts of stuff in here. Launchpad. There's a lot of stuff that's like great for making an obstacle course. This launchpad is a classic. Trampoline, another classic. Where am I? Oh, my spawn point is inside of the dragon, I believe, and the pool. Let's move these. And so you can see how some of these templates work. And yeah, that was just drag and drop them in. You can also make your own templates and save them, and then you have access to them. So let's say we'll get into that as I show the next segment, which is the entity panel. So I've only just been dragging these entities and voxel objects into the game, but if you want to edit them and change their behavior and change in detail how they work, you're going to want to look over at this panel on the left side of the screen, which we call the entity panel. And this will have your object, your entity, and all of the different components that make it what it is. So we'll take a look at this trampoline. So the entity is trampoline. This first component will just tell you what its name is, if it has any tags on it, which tags could be used for sending events and communicating or just organizing your scene. And if it is a template, you'll have some information about that template. And then the transform will show you its position, its scale. You can see this changing as I move the trampoline around, its rotation. And you can also parent it to another entity. So let's say I parented the trampoline to the player, which would be a really strange thing to do. So if I did that, now the trampoline is attached to the player and will move around with the player. Going to clear that out though, because I don't think I want that in my game. You've also got the collision component. So there's a number of different shapes of colliders. Right now it's using the voxel object itself as the shape of the collider. So when you collide with what you see on the voxel object, that's where the collision is going to exist. But you can also make a box, a capsule, sphere, etc. Like you saw with this toxic barrel, this has a sphere collider, a big trigger on it. So when you enter that sphere, then you take damage. And you can also set it to none, but I'm going to keep it at the voxel object collision. You have your voxel object component. So let's say I like this trampoline that I dragged in, but I don't like this voxel object. You can change it on the component. I can look up other trampolines, and oh, there's a green one. So now I have a different voxel object on my trampoline, but everything else stayed the same on the entity, so it's still going to behave just the same. And then you have the script, the trampoline script. It's got a description on it. So some of our like dotBigBang dev sanctioned scripts will have descriptions or ones that other people make, so you can read about it, which will help for usability of other people. And then I've got all of these exposed properties on the script that I can change. So still without having jumped into the code yet, there's still a lot I can do to customize the behavior on this object. So I could make the impulse like 1200 and not require jump. And I'll just change those. And now right when I collide with it, I get shot super high into the sky. So there's also a number of other components that you can add. These were just the ones that happen to already be on the trampoline, but you can add a text component and change the color of the text, change what it says, font, anything you would expect from text component. I don't even know if that's, yeah, that's how you spell trampoline, right? I think so. And what if you lost one of your entities while you're making, I don't know what you mean by lost. Like deleted it on accident?
It's gone somewhere.
Oh, I
don't know
can't
where it is.
find it. Okay, so I look it over here and I don't know where my entity went. So you can just search up the entity in the upper right-hand panel. There's an entity search search bar, so I can search. I found my trampoline, and then if I press the F hotkey, it'll focus on it, and now I'm looking back at it. So you don't have to. You can navigate everything that's in your scene. And on the entity, we have particles, sounds, cameras. So there's all sorts of different types of components you can add, particle effects. Now there's like particles coming out of the trampoline, and you can edit all of this with code. And so if I wanted to make this an invisible object, what I would do, I'm going to take off the text and the particle component. I would go to the voxel object component, and I can actually edit the opacity if I wanted to make it kind of see-through, or I could just go to the visible property on the voxel object component, turn it off, and now it's invisible. And if I wanted, like right now I can still collide with it, but if I wanted it to have, I could even just delete the voxel object component in its entirety and not have a voxel object component. To search up other people's created entities. So I did that at the bottom. If you go to voxel objects on the bottom panel, make sure you're looking at all instead of this game in that drop down on the right. And then you can search up. If you're only looking at this game or mine, then you probably won't be able to find anything. But if you make sure you're in the all drop down, you can search anything anyone's made. Make another. That's a cool dragon. I actually haven't seen that one before. So other things, let's see, just making sure I get everything. I have a little list. Yeah, so that was the entity panel. That's the entity panel. That's how you edit your entity. And then up in the upper right corner, we've got some other properties. That's where you found the search in your game. You can search by all sorts of different things, so you don't just have to know the name. Like, I know that these birds have the script called flocking on them. So if I want everything that has the flocking script, I can search by that script name, and it's going to show me the birds and the butterflies and everything with that script on it. You can search by tag. There's a bunch of things tagged no raycast, which just means that raycasts are ignored by it. But you can search by anything you need to. And you search by things that have a voxel object component. I don't know if you can do that.
Click on the advanced tab.
Oh, I've never done that.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So if I want to look for particle effects, I can search by particle effects. I could search by text components. I guess if only the player has a text component. Scripts, all sorts of things. Wow, I can't believe I didn't know that. That's cool. And then we've also got render settings as well. So right now we've got this nice mood going on. Actually, before I get into that, I haven't even explained what I'm doing with the camera. When you start a game, the camera is going to be following the player or whatever custom camera you have set up, but you have different camera settings in here, so you can, while you're editing the game, look through the game camera to see what the game will be rendering. There's also a fly camera that you can control with WASD. You can hold down shift to make it go faster, so that's letting me kind of zip around this level really fast. And then there's an orbit camera where you can click with the right mouse button and then orbit with the middle mouse button. I like the fly camera. And yeah, you can change the render settings. So I'm going to actually press G to enter the game camera so I can see the fog and everything that's being rendered. And then I can kind of just click on these different presets. There's a couple different presets in here. I think I want... Oh, that one's pretty moody. I liked the original one, so I'm going to go back until I get the original one back. But there's all sorts of different settings you can change: fog, bloom, vignette, all sorts, so much stuff to explore. There's advanced settings with shadows and lights and things that I have an artist typically do because that's not really my wheelhouse. And then besides that, Oh, you can also, there's some transform settings too. So if you were making a grid or like a tile-based game and you don't want to be able to freely move things around, you can hold down shift and it'll move by a set transform amount, and you can change that step to whatever the size. So if you made a voxel object that was like 50 by 50 voxels and you want to make sure that you make your grid-based game all fit into that without any like free motion, you could set your translation step to 50 voxels and then place your grid objects along that grid. And besides that, there's just you save your game up at the top. You can change out your player template here. So if you made a custom player with custom scripts, you could set your player template here. So you can make a 2D game with a custom 2D camera and a custom 2D player. So this is what the default player looks like and the default camera looks like, but you're not stuck with that. You can make a game in first person, you can make a top-down game. All of that can be customized. We just have a default settings that are easy to work with so people can jump in and not have to worry about getting their movement set up, getting their camera rotation set up, and all of that kind of stuff. And then you can also set additional game options. Yeah. So you can set whether the player uses the avatar or if it uses like a voxel object. And we do have an FPS game that people can play and remix. We have a really good starter kit. So if you wanted to make an FPS, we have a really good kit for that. Yeah, this is the kind of basics of how to navigate the editor. And then for scripting, let me just make something. I'm going to make a script that does something just so we can all see. It's going to involve this dragon and this thing. So we can see how that scripting looks. So I'm just going to make a new script here really quick. See, we got 20 minutes left. Do I have enough time to do this? I'll go really fast, like speed round of scripting. So I'm going to make a new script up here. I'll press new. I'm going to zoom in a bunch of times because I always forget to do that. Zoom. And then now you can see, here we are, we have our class. So there's a start function that's called whenever this object starts to exist. So either at the beginning of the game or when it's spawned in, and then a tick, which happens every frame. There's a bunch of built-in functions into our API. And I'm going to use on trigger enter. You'll see it's starting to autofill that for me. This one takes an entity, which is the other entity that collided, that triggered with this object. I'm just going to say if the other entity, or if other has the tag player on it, other.send event. I'm going to send an event called enable. So I'm also going to console.log hit. So if we open the console, since this is in the web, this is in your browser, you can just open the developer tools, the Chrome, I opened the Chrome developer tools, and now we have a console that will actually work for debugging our game. So what I'm going to do is walk over to my...
Hey, Ashley, we can't see that currently.
Oh, I don't know how to make that work. I guess it's just not part of the screen share. But you can use Chrome developer tools. I don't know how to get it to show up as part of the window in the screen share thing. But I've promise I just saw the message in my console. But just to show, so we can see something visually, sample trigger script. I didn't name the script. So I sent that event enable. Oh wait, I don't want to send it to other. I'm going to send it to, I'm going to do this dot entity dot get component by type component type. So I'm going to grab a component off of this entity. And I'm going to set it to invisible when I collide with this thing. So I'm going to collide with this, and then I'm going to turn invisible. There we go. We made something happen. Not very exciting, but we were able to make something happen very quickly. And so what we wanted to do, I would love to spend more time coding, but what we're going to do is show off the multiplayer editing, which is one of the most powerful parts of dotBigBang, and we haven't even shown you yet, is that we can all edit this game together in real time. I have all this random stuff in here, and there's going to be a lot more random stuff added. But I'm going to share this link, and anyone can jump in here, and we can all edit this game together. You can drag objects in, you can drag scripts onto objects, and drag in templates. We can do all sorts of stuff. So got that link shared.
Oh, wait. I want to get in. Let me in.
And yes, the editor, the script editor is super similar to VS Code if you're familiar with that. You can use the console for debugging, and it all runs in TypeScript. It's got really good autofill. And I'm not sure if, Chris shared our API documentation. So there's tons of example games that'll show you more about scripting in dotBigBang. And also, you can access scripts that other people have made at any point in time. So if I wanted to, I'm going to drag in a door. Here is, that's a nice door. They didn't think so, though. And if I just open, I clicked on the script component and press open, and I can search door, and let's see, dbb door, that sounds like a good script. And now if I walk over, we'll see how it works. You can look at the properties, but I've got this door that turns to open, and you can take a look at the script. I can't edit this because it was made by someone else, but I can look through and read their code and try to piece together what was going wrong or what was going on. I can also remix their script. So you can remix scripts that were made by other people. So I can say, I really liked this door script that someone made, but I wish that it behaved a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and remix it, add my edits to the code, and then I'll have my own version of it. But I already had a base to start off of. So as long as someone had their script public and they've marked it as remixable, then you can remix it in your game, and then it will, and you can make whatever edits you want to it. See, we've got some coins floating about. What do I want to add? Oh, I know what I'm going to add. I'm going to add a really fun template we have. Where is it? We have a Jeep template. So the console is there. I promise. You press F12 in Chrome. Oh, someone can jump on the back of this Jeep too. And again, like this Jeep is, we have a video. Oh, I wish I had the link on hand. Well, it would take a second to find it, but this Jeep is totally remixable. And we even have like detailed documentation and videos of how to reskin the Jeep and add your own art onto it and change the speed and the settings and all sorts of things. So a lot of sharing of knowledge. And it's really easy to learn things when you have so many resources available to you all the time. Yeah, let us know if anyone has any questions about making games in dotBigBang, about how our TypeScript and scripting works, or anything else you might have.
I have a question. Ashley, when do you feel, what would be your advice for somebody learning to code or learning TypeScript right now in terms of coming here and trying things out? Do you think that should be hand in hand, like the moment you start learning, you should start trying things out? Or do you think that there's like a natural progression point where people become more, I guess, comfortable using what they know to start building things?
I think that the best thing you can do is just to like get your hands dirty and just like jump in. I think not being scared to write code, not like, I think it's great to have all of these like resources that you can use, but I also think that like just like saying I'm just going to write something and see what happens, and just if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and just like trial and error and just jumping in head first is the best thing that you can do. I especially think on our platform there's so much you can look at, so much you can read, and like so many things you can see working, that there's no harm in just trying to like do it yourself. Like seeing, okay, I see this launch pad, I'm going to read through this, and then I'm just going to try to write something from scratch, like, and just see what happens. I think that's the best way to start, is just not be scared of trying anything and not being scared of breaking things.
Also, at Codecademy, we teach TypeScript more in the context of web development, which is a little different than game development. Have you seen in the past some sort of shortfalls or differences where somebody might be used to writing TypeScript one way, coming into something like dotBigBang and say, "Oh wow, I'm super lost. I really don't know," because they're just kind of trained to expect to use TypeScript in a specific way?
Yeah, I actually haven't talked to a lot of TypeScript like web developers who've moved to dotBigBang. I think it is very different, and it kind of feels different the whole time. That I haven't seen people really get like tripped up over like trying to do things one way for web. I think that there's kind of a general, like a big difference in game development and web development that becomes really obvious like as you're using it. And I think that using TypeScript for dotBigBang will not only make you better at TypeScript, but also will just make you a better game developer in general. And then you'll have less trouble next time you try, if you ever try a different game engine. You'll learn kind of to move away from like the web development thinking into a game development thinking, which I think is just very different and very distinct. So it feels different when even if you're using the same language, it feels like a very different interface. Also see the question from Maria, what is the most intimidating experience you had coding? I think something that intimidates me the most is coding 3D physics. Is I like using quaternions is how rotation is handled in 3D space in games, and that was one of the things that I was always like, I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to let it, take my time figuring out how that works. And having to just dive in. I ended up working on a project that was really physics based, and I just dove in and messed up a bunch, and things were rotating all ways that I didn't even know they could rotate and jumping around the screen. And eventually, after like just struggling and seeing things blow up over and over, I was able to start figuring out how to get it work. But yeah, it was definitely really intimidating, but I'm glad that I tackled that because now I'm not as scared of physics anymore. But I will say that one of my favorite things about coding in dotBigBang is just having so many references and like so much material to look at and such a big community of people. We have a big community in Discord where the devs are helping out with people who are making games in dotBigBang and will help troubleshoot their problems. And since the start, I've had my coworkers helping me learn the engine, and we're all just working together and remixing each other's code and like learning from each other. So it's been really nice to get to know the engine and TypeScript with the help of so many people.
I'm inclined to agree as well. I've done software engineering in the past, but not like on a serious level, and I found it really straightforward coming to dotBigBang and learning TypeScript. I wouldn't say that I make AAA quality games, but I definitely have a fundamental grasp on TypeScript and how the engine works. And I think anybody coming into dotBigBang with a little experience is just going to have such an easy time saying, right, here's a game idea I've had, give me 10 minutes, and just coming up with something that's really good and really fun. And it, like Ashley said, like there's a ton of support. We have people like Ashley in the Discord all the time, just ready to help out if you have any questions or anything. And we also have a lot of experienced community members as well who are there for you. So it's dead easy to get started.
Yeah, I also think that like since TypeScript and JavaScript are widely used languages, and they are less complicated than some of the other languages that are used in game development, like C++, for example. It's dotBigBang's a really good place to start your game development journey, just because you're more likely to be familiar with these languages, and even if you aren't, I think they're a little easier to pick up than some of the other common game engine languages. And also, if you're making games in TypeScript and dotBigBang, you're also learning a coding language that is widely used for web development and in all sorts of other applications. So it has some nice crossover, which I think is really cool. And it's also a nice place to get started in game development if you're coming from web development, because you kind of already have a lot of that work already done.
I have a question in terms of the crossover that you were talking about and learning other languages, how that helps. There's always people that come to Codecademy because they're looking at getting a career in tech or switching careers into tech. So how do you, in terms of like writing code at dotBigBang and sharing it outside, this is like an easy way to showcase this in portfolios, let's say on your GitHub or things like that. Is there like a way that you can export this code? Do you just have to copy and paste it? Is there an easy way for somebody that never used dotBigBang to come into someone's profile and see what they've built code-wise?
Yeah, so it is just kept within the platform, the code, so you could copy and paste it, but also because everything is public and immediate, like you can send a link and someone can play it immediately. So if you're trying to build up something for your portfolio, you could show off your game that you made instantly without having to take videos of it or have like a download link on itch or something like that. You could just say like, hey, here's a link to what I made. If they wanted to look at the code, you could copy and paste it and put it into GitHub, or you could if they had an account, they could look through your game and see the code that you made. But right now there isn't like a site where you can go like externally look at just the code part, like how you would use GitHub. But I do think at least sending a link to your game and being able to immediately show someone what you made can be really helpful to show what you've been able to create.